Here's the question. How do you make the impossible possible? Simple. Remove the I am, the ego. Now, how do you step into that newfound possibility? With a series of small intentional steps. Never forget, the greatest among us started from humble beginnings. But to truly unlock your potential, realize you're here for something greater. If you're yearning for more than just a good life, let's take that small step together to reach greatness. Welcome to the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, where we're talking to those who have gone from mediocrity to motivated, overlooked to overachieving, forgettable to unforgettable. Are you ready? Let's go. Well, hello, everybody. I am back, and I'm looking forward to this few minutes. It probably won't take long. It might be a short one. It's just me. But what I'm talking about is point of view, POV. That's what you see on social media nowadays. Point of view. So my point of view on Halloween, it's kind of revolved. It's kind of transitioned over the years. So I'll start today and then I'll go way back and then I'll move forward from there. Because my grandchildren love dressing up, and this is just in general, and dressing up is part of being silly that a lot of the world we are in for various reasons I always say this, of relaxation and fun and showing enthusiasm can do. So I'm okay with dressing up. I'm okay with doing that, getting in costumes and being silly. But what I've discovered about that in myself is that I've had to learn how to enjoy it. And then here's the reason. Back in my high school days, when I gave my life to God, my intention was to be serious about it. And of course, have joy and fun in it because that's who I am. But being serious about it just gave me this, and then when Halloween would come along, it gave me this weird feeling like, what in the world is this one about? How do I handle this one? And honestly, having kids did make a difference. But it was in what environment was I willing to have my kids? Like, where was I willing to have them within the event, within the day, was I willing to have them in? But certainly with caution. So with that seriousness came a discernment that there was a lot of evil on that day and a lot of evil surrounding the event. I won't call it a holiday because it's not, but some people look at it and say, this is the greatest holiday there is. And it's not a holiday, and yet it is treated like it's a national monument in some ways. Like, some people really, really love it, and I don't hold anything against them. But in my first year of marriage, we had this guy that was staying with us, and he was staying with us through the fall of the year. And I don't remember anything in particular that happened during the Halloween time, but he was with us during the summer and then into the fall of the year. But before all that, before Halloween came that year, we had a parting of company, and I was only 19, and well, I had just turned 20 that first year that I was married. And he was with me, helping me with my work. I had become a contractor, and we got along fine. But I remember one instance where what he was saying kind of caught me wrong. And then I started pushing into it and started asking him. He was coming to church with us, and that was kind of our rule. We go to church on Sundays. That's what we do. And that's where I actually met him anyway. And it was a long ways away. We lived out in the country, and the church was in the city. I won't get into the bitter details, but what happened, what I found out through was his father was a sadist. And now this was what he said, and I don't know. I had no way of verifying and still don't know. But he said that was the case and that his mother was not like that, but something else, which all sounded weird and odd. But when our interaction ended, just before our interaction action ended, things got very intense. And for a moment, I felt like and seemed like, and probably to this day still think, and of course, when I go to heaven and can ask Jesus about it, what was going on in that moment, I'm pretty sure he can play it back and tell me what was going on. But I was pretty sure I was talking to the devil or a demon or something. And it was disheartening. It was scary. It was, I never felt like I was in danger of losing my life, nothing like that. But it was eerie, to say the least. And what he told it seemed to fit with what he told me about his background and his parents, his dad in particular. Well, that formed something major in me. And that next year, we had our first kid. I'm like, oh man, anything that is close to cultic, I don't want any part of for my kids. Right? I wasn't scared of it, but it was crazy. To me, it was crazy to be near it. So my in-laws loved to take the kids out to go trick-or-treating. And so as long as they were around our neighborhood, around a neighborhood, and we were along with them, then we kind of gave into it. I remember my mother-in-law took our kids and all the grandkids in the area to the mall one time and went through and got a lot of candy for, the shops there, the stores that would give out candy. And they got a lot. Because it was kind of a thing. But I really constrained it. I never, there was no decorations, still isn't. No decorations, rarely a pumpkin because of what in my mind was connected to it. And so my point of view was very, very careful, very constrained about anything that had to do with Halloween, because in my mind, Halloween equaled the occult. And even to this day, it's still there. I watch very closely what is going on here. But as we had kids and then especially grandkids, 14 years ago or so was our first grandchild, it made me start thinking, well, if I'm being careful and we are like as any other thing, we're unwinding what's going on in the world for the sake of our kids and grandkids, then what's wrong with a little bit of interaction with the fun that's in it? And I am still there. My church does a trunk or treat, and it's a good community outreach, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't like some of the costumes that I've seen at it. Even one of my great friends was dressed up. I'm like, oh my goodness, that seems awful evil, but it was after a rock star. And so I looked at that and went, okay, well, I would not and could not do that, but I can do other things to become part of the community. So my point of view these days on Halloween is kind of like Christmas. It's kind of like viewing the Sunday as the Sabbath, or in some places, Israel and other places, Saturday is the Sabbath. Well, everything in moderation is my current point of view. That we don't want the grandkids going crazy and becoming obsessed with dressing up and becoming an animal or an actual princess and going off the rails a little bit mentally. Because if you're off the rails, then you end up going spiritually also, I think, because I've seen myself do it at times. Also, in the process of all of this, I have been face to face with other forces that were not of this world. And so they're nothing to be, it's nothing to be playful about, playing with. One of the cases was I knew I was in a place that literally did not belong to God. I didn't know until I was in there because it was kind of a religious place. And I walked in and there was this crazy oppression, and I won't get into the details of what happened to me and how I knew it, but it was very obvious that me and the people with me were in a bad spot, and me in particular. So I left them. I was felt assured they were safe, and I left them and I said I have to get out of here. And I did. And as soon as I left, the feeling that this thing that was going on, it went away. But I don't watch scary movies, and that's the reason. I've been face to face with things that are the most evil and the most demonic. And I don't need to watch them on a screen. I just don't need to. And I would challenge anybody listening to this to be very careful, not to buy into watching scary movies, because actually some of them are there's truth. There's truth there, because it didn't come out of just someone's imagination. It came out of someone's imagination fortified by perhaps the evil spirits that are behind these things. And where do the evil spirits want us? Well, they want us to, oh, treat them like a joke so that we're unaware, so that we're distracted and deceived. And I would recommend to anybody here, don't ever be distracted and deceived about the fact that evil exists. And in regards to Halloween, it's not that evil exists anymore around the holiday day, but it may actually more on that day, kind of like I liken it to Mardi Gras and the days that are surrounded and the day of the main celebration of Mardi Gras. It's just like, go do anything evil you want and it doesn't matter. The same thing with that celebration. I've lost the name of it in Brazil. It's just crazy what happens there. And it, as if it doesn't matter. Well, it does matter. Our memories can't get rid of these things, and our hearts can be distracted and pulled. I've had someone close to me before that was pulled away by the deception of we'll call it sin. It was bad actions, and this person was kind of into it, kind of liked it, and it took them away. They're still estranged from me and the family and other people that love them. And I'm not sure if that person has ever come back fully from that. They don't need to come back to me, but they do need to come back to God. And I'm not sure they were able. And so I'm not saying that there's no pathway back, because God is a God of redemption. But when we celebrate too deeply into these occultic practices, I think we hang chains on ourselves, and we become trapped. We become chained to the thing, and things we don't understand, things that are beyond us, occultic practices and mindsets that are going on out there that we don't know anything about, and we shouldn't. So that's my point of view. We should be very, very, very careful, and be prayerful, and be thoughtful, and to use a phrase, skeletons in the closet. If you open the closet and there's a skeleton there, then realize that it didn't get there by itself. That there are things going on behind the scenes that we can't see, that humans shouldn't see. And sometimes there's visibility brought in by drugs and other things, sometimes through events. Sometimes when I saw what I saw in the last, throughout my life, and a couple of events I've mentioned, and there's more, that I saw things and experienced things that I would rather not experience again, because they're not healthy to be around. Not that I want to live in a Pollyanna world, but it's not a place to thrive, to be around that really highly negative, highly charged, the negative spiritual, like demons and negative spiritual things. So that's my point of view. So if you want greatness in your life, which this is the Greatness from Small Beginnings podcast, small beginnings is to not think deeply and to not care, to just reckless abandon is a way to smallness. But the way to greatness is to think, is to see, discern, and to not be deceived and to understand to whatever level you've been given information, and then to dig for more information. So I'm not 100% sure and confirmed on what to do long term about Halloween, but some people love it. I'm okay with them loving it, but I won't be deceived. I will be careful, and it better be focused on God and his work and his things. That's what I believe. So, that being said, you have now my point of view. Let me read from Zig Ziglar, my good friend. I wish I knew him in person. You were designed for accomplishment, which I believe these kinds of things, this distraction could get in the way. Engineered for success, could create chaos in your life. Engineering is a secure, it's a methodological approach to things, and endowed with the seeds of greatness, and indeed you are. Now, my friend, go be great.